Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, in our little vest pocket, I wanted to talk about Seiko has a brand called Credor, and I've always sort of seen it as bumping into Grand Seiko, and it does and it doesn't. It's their tippity top, and it's very expensive. But then I found out some other things they have. So let's take a quick look at Credor. It's an interesting one. Now this is called the Credor Eichie 2. Eichie 1 was similar with one big exception, and that was they had a power reserve indicator on the dial. This is a porcelain dial, and the thing about this watch and is this the Eichie is that everything is done to perfection. That's about the only way to put it. It's extremely accurate. It has a spring drive in it. Now, what a spring drive is, if you're not familiar with them, they're essentially a quartz drive that is powered by a mainspring. Essentially what happens is that the power from the mainspring, it provides a charge for the quartz timing. That's essentially what's going on. The rest of it, though, is pretty much like a regular mechanical watch with the mainspring and the gear train and so forth until you get down to the escapement and the fork and so forth. So anyway, now this watch is $42,000, and you can only get them in Japan unless you get them by special order. If you go to a Seiko boutique here in the U.S., you can they'll special order one for you. If you look at the movement, this is called the 7R14 movement. The enlage on this and the finishing is just gorgeous. Over there on the right, you can see the power reserve indicator. They have it on the back in the same way that H. Moser has theirs on the back. And the thing I like about the power reserve indicator on the back is they don't mess up the dial. It's a very clean dial, and I like that a lot. You know, $42,000. It's a lot of money for the watch. Now, this is called the Credor Big Date, and it's $7,200. 38 millimeters, got a caliber 7R87. It too is a spring drive. And here you can see they have the power reserve indicator on the front, and then they have the big date around, it looks to be around 5 o'clock. So this is a much more affordable one, and I think they're sort of going head to head with certain types of Rolexes with this watch. Also, I would say the Glashütte Pano, what they call Pano Date or something like that. They have a similar kind of watch. The movement on this is called the 7R87A. The hours charge in it. And it's a spring drive. It's hard to compare a spring drive with just about anything mechanical, because essentially it's a quartz. You have the power, instead of coming from a battery, it's generated by a mechanism that is charged by a spring. So is this a glorified quartz, or is it a very extremely accurate mechanical? Well, the thing about these watches, both the Eichie and the Big Date, is huge accuracy, 15 seconds a month. And so and they're hand wound, which I really like, and then that winds up the mainspring, just like a regular mechanical watch, and then off it goes. Now, regardless of what you think, about sort of spring drives with a quartz movement, or with a quartz, oh, I don't know what you'd call it, a quartz balance, almost like that. It's not a balance, but it's something like that. Well, anyway, so if you're interested in one, check it out, learn Japanese, and you'll find out about it. It's a very interesting thing that Seiko has done, and they pretty much kept it in Japan though. So interesting watch. Okie doke, that's all for Watch Art Side. Bill Sanders, and if you feel like you'd like to subscribe, this is an invitation to do so.